I want to talk about your 92 season, DT, because obviously named all SEC. And like I said, I guess that would have been the first season you guys were in the SEC. And you balled out that year, hit 333, 7 homers, 29 RBIs. You also added 14 stolen bases. Like you said, you were an athlete. You were a well-rounded player in the outfield. Just overall, I'd imagine at that point, it's your money year. It's your junior season. We all know how important that year is for baseball players and for the draft and everything. And it just sounds like it kind of all clicked for you in that 92 season.
It did, because like I said earlier, my sophomore year I was hurt, and I got hurt again beginning of my junior year, so I had to DH my junior year, and I was hitting the ball pretty good, and I wasn't a leadoff guy, but I remember Coach Sullivan, we were at Vanderbilt, and he told Coach Raines, Cromer's hitting the ball, he's getting on base, why don't we lead him off? And so from that point on, they moved me to the leadoff spot, and it was a good year, and I knew that my goal was to play, pro ball, and so, with having an injury to my shoulder and I got drafted 11th round, I just felt like it was time that, if you want to give it a shot, you don't want to wait till you're too old. And, but yeah, it just came together that year, obviously jumping into the SEC, it was new for us. And, Vanderbilt wasn't that good back then. I think Georgia was struggling. Gosh, I don't remember who was good back. I mean, Florida was always dominant with pitching.
Right.
We went out to Arkansas. So it was all new and fun because we hadn't played a lot of those teams. And that year we had a lot of really good bats. We just didn't have pitching. And we went down to Miami and, got beat out by Charles Johnson and, Miami to go to the World Series. But yeah, it was fun. But I just knew it was time, when I got drafted, I was like, shoot, they drafted me. I got a broken arm, so I might as well give it a shot. And I think I was a late bloomer in college. I was just an athlete. And,
right.
I think they brought in my junior year one guy to talk about, the middle part of the game. And so that was just completely new to us. And so once I got drafted by the A's, they brought in, sports psychologists and, gave us the book, The Mental Game of Baseball, and our sports psychologist wrote it. So that part really opened my mind up to understanding what it takes. The most of the games, played up in your head, and that's what helped me make kind of the jump to the next level to become a better hitter.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like with you, you had all the tools, but just literally putting it all together and understand, kind of mastering the game mentally was the biggest jump for you.
It was, and it took me a long time. I mean, I went into pro ball, and gosh, I was 28 when I finally made it. Rode a lot of buses and got passed over a lot with the A's, from, and again, my priorities were a little different back then. I tell my son, it's open. I was like, hey man, make smart decisions, because for me getting drafted, part of it was like, man, I felt like I was a traveling rock star. Let's go out and have fun. And, so there were certain things that I would look back that I wish I would have done a little different. But, once I started to mature and understand what it took, to become that player, my numbers jumped and things, I started figuring it out. But then still, I think one year I hit 330 with 30 homers, drove in 130 runs, stole 30 bases, and never got called up that year. 40 doubles, 10 triples, and got named, all kinds of, but we had Jason Johnby in front of me, Mark McGuire was in front of him. And so it was, it was tough, and that happened every year. And that's one thing, I never got promoted during the season in the minor leagues my whole career. I mean, I got called up and down from AAA to big leagues a lot, but so it was tough. I mean, and that's what, I tell kids, if you want to play pro ball, especially now, it's not an easy life, especially with the players coming from all around the world that, it's competitive and it's not fun. The ballparks are nicer than what we played in, but, it's a business and you got one shot at it, you better give it everything you got, because it's tough. Yeah, I figured it out. I think I was my third year pro ball with A's, and that was the year I actually got hit in the face with a ball that shattered my eye socket, broke my nose. Had to ride a bus 10 hours after the game, with my face, about to fall off, and doctor said you either get a steel plate put in or you play with a shield over your face the rest of the year and then give it a shot. I knew that if I had surgery, my career was over. So I put a fiberglass shield on my helmet and wore one in the field. And I think the last 2 months of the season, I hit about 20 home runs. And from then on, I kind of figured it out. So I think that was kind of a God test thing to figure out how bad I wanted it. And so, that was kind of, I think, the turning point.